Welcome back, ladies and gents. Today a bit of a surprise video for you. For once I'm going to be doing some Necromunda terrain. Yeah, didn't see that coming. And as you can see, it's Christmas. At this stage I think I have more Christmas jumpers than I do regular jumpers. So enjoy. Yeah, that's right. So today I am going to do a few different things with Necromunda doors. So I have done the double door video, which is pretty cool. I quite enjoyed that, mainly because it completed me. I did wonder for ages what can I do to make a decent double door in Necromunda, and I'm pretty happy with the results. So most people out there have got the Zone Mortalis terrain for Necromunda, have got the regular doors. So they come in two sizes. So you've got the single width door, which is enough for one model to go through, and that is enough for one tile section of a Zone Mortalis tile, as in the 2-inch wide sections. And then you've got one that's twice as wide. So I'll do a quick paint guide, how I paint them, hazard stripes mainly. You've seen how I've painted my double door, which was slightly different than the standard hazard stripes. So we'll be using hobby masking tape or hobby tape. So not just regular road tape, because that stuff is a bit too sticky, like regular masking tape, things like that. Although if you do have some handy and you don't want to buy hobby tape, you can always take the stickiness off by applying it to something like, I don't know, the leg of your trousers or something. As you're at your hobby desk, just take a little bit of stick off and try that. But I'm going to use proper hobby tape today. And I'm going to bust up some doors as well. So we'll see what I'm talking about when we get to the hobby table. So welcome to the hobby desk, lord, ladies and hive scumbags. Yep, I'm talking to you. You know your place. So this is the standard sprue for doors in the Zone Mortalis terrain set for Necromunda. So you get your platforms and you get your doors. So if you're anything like me, you will have probably 5-6 boxes of columns and walls, and in the columns and walls box you will also get this lovely sprue. So I have a few of these left over because I use probably more columns and walls than I do the doors themselves. But you can always treat the doors as walls. How do I do this? By permanently gluing the doors together. So rather than having, here's one I've made earlier, like this. So when you have your platform over the top, for example, you can just flick this out like that, so there's an open doorway. Or if there's nothing on top, obviously you can just pull it out. But if you stick the door in permanently and bust these doors up by drilling holes and blasting them apart, and not enough to get a miniature through, but maybe a few small holes, and maybe even putting some rebar in, you can make actual walls that look very obvious that these doors will not open. And what I like to do is use the busted consoles on the sprue as well. So you've got regular consoles just here, and then you've got busted ones. So I'm going to assemble a couple of these, paint them up, and show you how I paint them, and I'll make a few of them busted up as well. So getting your door, or if you like, you can always fully assemble your door in its frame and glue it and wait until the glue's fully gone off. I do recommend plastic glue for this, and then attack the centre of it, or you can just hold it like this and drill. What I like to do is use a nice light battery gun. Yes, this is snap-on and it's quite expensive, mainly because I'm a mechanic. And what do I do with my tools? My expensive tools I use on miniatures, obviously. So my only tip is make it kind of random and don't drill your hand. So you can hold it like this if you want, or if you have a hobby vise, that's even more beneficial, because you definitely will not drill yourself. If your hand is on the other side, there's a chance that might. If you're too young for this, please get an adult. But I'm just literally going to pick some random spots and start drilling some holes to make it look corroded on one and blown apart on another. So I'm just basically going to do this. Start with a small drill bit because it's easier to go through a small drill bit first and then progress to a larger drill bit. But you get the idea. So please do not drill yourself. Although it would be pretty funny if I did drill on camera. I like to keep my fingers. They do not grow back. So what I like to do is keep a few of the holes different sizes. Look how easy it is to go through with a bigger drill. So keep a couple of the small ones and just have a bit of fun with it. And you don't have to go all the way through as well, giving it a bit more of a poxed kind of corroded feel to this. So I will make this door really rusty when I'm done with this and make it look like it's just corrosion, not bullet holes. So initially it kind of looks a bit like bullet holes. Like I said, I'm going to get several different drills of different sizes, loads of different holes, and then eventually join some of the bigger ones up. So for this one here, I've decided to do a nice little bit of poxing, I guess we would call it. So pock marks with drill bits again, not all the way through this time, because this side is going to be relatively clean, and I want to make it look like it's basically a quarantine door. So I've got some lovely posters here, which are obviously from Carl Johnson because the guy is an absolute boss. Necromunda posters and whatnot. And I was thinking about putting the biohazard strips here, or maybe the biohazard hazard stripes over the front of the door. Maybe sticking a few candles on there as well. Not for getting the right mood. I'm thinking candles for like prayers and things like that. So don't forget, Carl Johnson, please check out his work. His work is unbelievable. So yeah, I printed this off and copied it from his links on his Instagram page. But yeah, I want to do like a quarantine door completely shut off. I'm half tempted to weld up the door as well. So I'm going to make maybe some of this stuff, he says, grabbing some off camera. So it's basically Pearl Effects. It's great for like nail craft and things like that, or making stuff on gift cards. But it's great to make it look like weld. So I was half tempted to weld the door up as well. Biohazard, smash the little monitor, which I'm about to stick on there in a minute. And yeah, I have one side that's a biohazard and infected. So maybe some rust with some green plants growing all over it, and maybe a tentacle or something as well. So I will start painting that up as another wall type idea rather than using it as a door, because that is actually stuck on there now. So I've masking taped this door up, and that's the craft glitter stuff that I use before I prime the whole thing up. It's actually a silver colour, and it kind of looks like weld anyway. But I'm priming the whole thing, painting the whole thing, and then eventually I'm going to make it look like weld by painting it with a bit of a heat bloom down the middle. So I almost stippled it as I painted it on to make it look more bumpy, rushed, and like welded together. That's the plan, anyway. So masking tape it up centre. Just give it a nice little colourful stripe. Obviously, whatever colour that you want. I'm starting with a darkish red. making it a lighter red in the middle, just to make it look a little bit brighter before I weather it up. So doing the same on both sides. So doing the same on both sides. With this side, it's going to be the side that's going to be really messy and messed up with the rust and the bionic with the rust and the biohazard plant life. Okay, hitting the centre now. So when you colour it off, it'll look a bit brighter in the middle. I do the same thing with my blood angels. I've done a video way back when on how I made my blood angel tanks and how I painted them up. Remember, I'll put a link in the description below. And there we go, until it dries, see what it looks like. So that's one side of the door with the Rosencraig's rust effects on one side. This stuff, originally, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, is supposed to be for DIY. So, massive tin of paint, like huge tin of paint, like, I say huge, 5 inches tall. It's pretty huge, right? Above average, some might say. That's supposed to paint a whole wall of a house. So this stuff is fantastic for terrain. It will last forever. So I just put a few dibbles on the drilled out sections of this. 2 coats of the stuff, and you can speed it up by using a hairdryer, and then use a little bit of the activator. So while the activator is going off, this is on the pox-ridden side. I have masked up and sprayed my non-busted doors. So these, which I have weathered up a little bit so far. I've yet to paint the non-smashed monitors. So what I like to do with my yellows is drop a little bit of orange in it as well to make it look a bit more hazardy. Because bright yellow is probably a bit too clean. Now, taking this off on camera, it should be a laugh because it's always going to go wrong, right? But it is best to paint yellow over black, I would say. But have a good base colour down first. So put like a grey primer or a white over first, and I'm going to bust this up and make it look a lot more worn. So obviously black is easier to paint over than yellow. So if I was to try to paint over yellow with the black, it covers, but the yellow over black doesn't cover very well, does it? So I do it personally this way around, and I beat it up, make it a little bit worn anyway. But you've probably seen several of my videos where I've had hazard striping, like my tiles for Necromunda. I just thought I would pull this off because it's A, kind of satisfying, and B, when it goes horribly wrong, it's fantastic on camera, right? So I'll turn the light down a little bit because you don't need to see that. And I'm going to weather it up as per usual with a little bit of streak and grime, and they're going to look lovely slid in to my doors. So obviously touching it up, then making it look a bit beaten. Those are my standard Necromunda doors. Now you could always have graffiti on them after you weather them up. You can even, obviously you're going to chip them up anyway, but you can even stick a poster or two on there, or even a number like Sector 42, for example. Just a little bit of something to make it look a bit more realistic and not quite so perfect. So that's my rusted door. So pretty happy with the results. So these are one of the ones that will not open. So a nice bit of rust effect from the Craig and Rose. And I've got two doors that will open. I might put a little bit more detail, like something on the screen there, some writing, maybe access granted or something like that. Just a little bit of graffiti, in blood, Kane lives. A little bit of the Rhinox side, sponged on, make some chipping, and painted around the chipping to give it some depth. And another one that will not open, the biohazard door. It's been welded shut, and with the tape across it, and on the other side, definitely some kind of biohazard, like a giant thresher needleworm or something. Some pox marks, blooded hand, and definitely something bio-organic growing. So yeah, definitely happy with these. Like I said, I had loads of doors that I want to make wall sections, and some just good old-fashioned doors. Don't have to put lots of detail on them. You can do nice coloured striping, so something like that. Obviously done with some masking tape or hobby tape, whatever you have handy. And yeah, mess around, have a bit of fun. Add some colour to your hive. Don't just have it a filthy, rusty colour. Although a whole hive like that would be rather interesting. It's a very short video today, guys, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And I really do enjoy this Necromunda terrain. So I'll be knocking out even more of the stuff in the future. Hopefully I will paint up the whole of my underhive and then get some battle reports going. I am in the second campaign at the moment for our local group. About 6 games in. I'm doing pretty well with the Ogre Goliath. But yeah, hopefully we can get a camera on those games. Maybe need some editing from a few choice words after a bad dice roll, but we'll see. Thank you very much for watching. Merry Christmas, guys. And I hope you stay safe, you wonderful people.